Hey friends, welcome back to another speed build. I hope your day is going fantastic. I am building a house here in San Sequoia, the world that came with Growing Together. And this is actually something that I wanted to come out with like at the end of October for Halloween. I had all these big plans to start streaming, and I was going to build this house on stream with everyone, and it's going to be a lot of fun, but then I got super sick and just could not function. So here we are at the beginning of December releasing this because I had other things going on and I wanted to get some other builds out. So yeah, I guess better late than never. But the idea for this house is that there are five roommates all living together who are all different occults. So there is an alien, a ghost, a werewolf, a vampire, and a spellcaster. And I don't know if you've seen the show Being Human, but that's kind of the inspiration behind this. I believe it was like originally a UK show, and then there was a US version. I never saw the UK one, but I really enjoyed the US version of the show. But in the show, there are three roommates. There's a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost. So I just kind of expanded on that by adding a spellcaster and the alien. I also considered adding a mermaid, but I know mermaids are a little lackluster. Plus, I wanted to build this house in more of like a city or a suburb setting. And I didn't really think it would make sense for a mermaid since there wouldn't really be water available for them to, swim around in. So I just stick with these five, and I think, it worked out pretty well. And I wanted their house to look very, normal, very just kind of inconspicuous on the outside. So I was kind of inspired by the other houses in the area of San Sequoia. And I basically just split up this lot into, for two different houses, one that's actually built and the other is just one of the debug shells that's from the world that I put on the other side. Which I think, fills up the lot really nicely, and I didn't have to build some giant house to fill up this lot. And I used a lot of the items from Growing Together and Seasons to, achieve this sort of craftsman style house that I was going for that really fits in well with San Sequoia. The layout of this house came together pretty well too. The main floor has the kitchen and dining. I guess they're technically in separate rooms, but they're on one side, and then the living room is on the other. And then there are 4 bedrooms upstairs, and then I did a bedroom and another space in the basement, basically for the vampire, and then kind of like a spell casting or like potion room for the spellcaster. But yeah, most of the bedrooms are upstairs, and the household will also be uploaded to the gallery if you want to download them and move them in, move them somewhere else, whatever. But I really wanted to give them interesting personalities. So for the alien, his name is Ted Hanks. It was like one of the randomly generated ones, which I thought was funny. It kind of reminded me of Tom Hanks. But he is a goofball. He's socially awkward, a little paranoid, and he's gregarious. So he's kind of interesting because he is very interested and very excited about human culture. He really wants to learn about humans and all of that. But he's not really sure how to engage with people, so hence the kind of social awkwardness. And he doesn't have like an alien disguise or anything. He's just like blue skinned all the time, which, I love that for him. But he is a little bit paranoid, it's a little, can be a little maybe unsafe for him if people aren't accepting of aliens. So, so he's got that trait. And his room, when I get to it, oh my God, it's so chaotic. You'll either love it or hate it. It's very over the top. And then the ghost, her name is Talia Rodriguez. She's good. She's a foodie. She's also clumsy, but also alluring. So I imagine maybe she had some sort of accident. Or basically what I did for her room was she has like the seance table and everything. So maybe she was playing a little bit too much, a little too fast and loose with summoning spirits. So maybe she got pulled over to the other side. People aren't really sure what happened to her and why she died. She can't remember. So that could be, something that you figure out in your gameplay. And I didn't really think of a backstory of how all 5 of them met. I'm thinking maybe just through mutual acquaintances and through their different communities, they've kind of connected with each other and decided to live with each other to, kind of help protect each other and all of that. So yeah, I think that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, here in the build, since I haven't really talked much about it, the kitchen, fairly simple. I went with the Parenthood counters and cabinets. Love those. They might still be my favorite kitchen set in the game. But I also used appliances from Growing Together, which I thought fit in nicely. I also decided to add in a clock in the kitchen. If you didn't catch that, I hardly ever use clocks. I kind of forget about them in the game, so thought I would add that as kind of a decoration. And here in the dining room, I used quite a bit of blue. I kind of pulled that from the rug, which is kind of a good tip if you aren't really sure on a color scheme for a room. I like to start with a rug and then just kind of pull colors from that. So it's kind of beige overall, but there's pops of blue and kind of that orangey color, and I think that helps coordinate pretty well. I also really like using the upper cabinet part that's the full wall length cabinet. It's kind of for dishes and things. I believe that the one that I used in the dining room was from Jungle Adventure, which I thought looked really nice with the open glass and all the dishes in there. So I thought that worked pretty nicely. And yeah, here in this little entry hallway, it was fairly tight, so I couldn't fit a lot of stuff in there, but I did put in some decor items, just kind of make it decorated. Groundbreaking, I know. And then the hallway bathroom, very simple, so I'm a little behind in my narrating, but you get the point. And then here in the living room, I did start off using the Book Nook kit bookcases, just because I'm kind of obsessed with those, but I believe I switched those out and do something else. I don't quite remember. I think I do the Dream Home Decorator ones instead, just to do something a little bit different since I've been using those other bookcases to death. So I thought I would do something a little bit different. Plus this green swatch matched with the fireplace really nicely, and I kind of like the darker wood tone on there just to give it some contrast. But I did use the couch from Book Nook, and that chair I believe is from Horse Ranch. I imagine they all have different items, different furniture that they have all moved in with. So I wanted to have a little bit more eclectic sort of look, kind of mix it up a little bit. Plus that kind of pinkish tone in the couch tied in well with the rug. It really kind of brought that out. And then I used those great photos from, or I guess paintings from Get Famous, I believe they're from. And in a minute, I'll actually put some bookcases behind the couch as just kind of more, surface area and to fill in some space, which are from Book Nook, the Book Nook kit, because apparently I can't build anything without using that now. So sorry if you don't have that kit. But yeah, I thought those looked really nice behind there. Obviously not super useful, but there's plenty of other bookcases you can use. And I really wanted to get a piano in here, but I ended up just switching it for the keyboard since the piano was, pretty tall and it kept blocking windows, and I didn't want to have to, completely rearrange windows and all of that. But I thought the keyboard worked well in here. Also got a guitar, and I put in the bonsai tree, just since I never used that item, but I thought it, looked really nice in here. And yeah, this ends up being, a pretty good skill building room. I used these curtains from the new Modern Lux kit, which worked really nicely. I was worried they would clip into the bookcase, but it didn't seem to be an issue, so that's always nice. And yeah, had to add in the standard chess table and easel. Gotta have those. And I'll talk more about the other Sims in the household when I get to their bedroom, but I did want to talk a little bit about some other builds that I have coming up. I'll probably be taking just a short break from the Sims 2 recreations, just since I had this one, you know, already built, and then I got sick twice and it was all delayed. So I wanted to get this one out, and then I've got an apartment renovation coming on Tuesday. That'll be an apartment in Evergreen Harbor that came with Eco Lifestyle. So I think that one, I really liked how that one turned out, so hopefully you enjoy that. But then I want to do some more like wintry holiday builds now that we're into December. So I'm going to be doing some of those. And of course I want to build like 1 million apartments with the new pack coming out. So I got to, you know, I definitely have to do that. But yeah, if there's anything you want to see, please let me know. I would love to take a look at your requests. But yeah, so this first bedroom is for the alien, Ted Hanks. And like I said before, it's very chaotic. It's all over the place. I imagine he's just like acquiring random things from, you know, going to stores and everything. So everything is like really vibrant. Nothing matches, nothing like coordinates. It's all very weird. He's got, you know, toys. He's got this Christmas tree that he thought was really pretty that he just like has up all the time. He put up this like wild, wacky wallpaper in here. So this might be the ugliest room that I've ever created in The Sims. I love this like shag carpet that I end up going with in there. But yeah, it's very over the top. It reminds me of like, you know, like a kid building in The Sims 4, or, you know, like when I first started building things in The Sims 1 and not knowing, you know, anything about design and just putting random objects in a room. That's basically the energy I was going for in there. And this bedroom is for the ghost, Talia. And like I said before, I imagine that she was really into doing seances and the paranormal before she mysteriously died. So I wanted to use a lot of stuff from the Paranormal Stuff Pack. And I think it looks pretty decent in here. Obviously, it's, you know, a very specific style. So every room is very specific. It's very, you know, pack heavy based on whatever pack, you know, that occult came with. But yeah, so here is the werewolf's bedroom, and his name is Lucas. His traits are active, glutton, and childish. I imagine just because he, you know, he's constantly transforming, so he's constantly eating and trying to, you know, re-energize himself. Plus his aspiration is to be a bodybuilder, so I thought that, you know, made sense. So a lot of different items from Werewolves, the Werewolves game pack in this room. And I'm imagining that for the floors, this is what the floors used to look like. Like they're just kind of these old style wood planks before they put like nice flooring throughout. So they didn't want to, like, you know, renovate his bedroom since he's transforming and breaking things all the time. So they didn't want to do any of that. So that's why the floors are like that in that room. And then this room is for the Spellcaster. Her name is Selena Sweeney, and she is romantic, a genius, and gloomy. And yeah, obviously her aspiration is to be an amazing spellcaster. So, and I imagine that she is newer to the world of magic, so she's not, you know, as advanced in her skills and whatnot yet. But she's, you know, very interested in learning how to be a spellcaster. So all the furniture in here is, you know, from Realm of Magic, with the exception of this poster. Maybe she really loves old movies and really powerful women. So that's one of her inspirations there. And I did a lot of purple for her room. I thought that looked nice, especially with the bed, because that bed is like very stylized. That was one of the nicer swatches in my opinion. And then didn't do a whole lot in this hallway, just added in some decorative items since there's not a lot of space there. And then I cut out a little bit here because I was really struggling with the stairs. They kept like deleting things, and I don't know, it was very strange. So, but yeah, here in the basement, one of the rooms will be for the vampire, and the other room is for Selena, the spellcaster. It'll have a cauldron and all of that. So the vampire's name is Beatrice Ramsey, and she has the traits of party animal, creative, and adventurous. And her current aspiration is to be a computer whiz. And my kind of idea is that She is, you know, hundreds of years old. She's been around forever, but she's really good at adapting to the changing times. And she really enjoys learning new things. And it's kind of like one of the reasons why she became a vampire, is just to live long enough to learn everything that she can. So she has a very nice room. She has, you know, I imagine she has a lot of money, you know, saved up and wherever from her very long life. And yeah, so I thought that was, you know, kind of interesting for her. And here is the kind of magic room. There's a cauldron in here and these different cases of potions and whatnot. I originally tried to put the cauldron in her bedroom, but it just, you know, there just wasn't enough space. So I thought having it down here made sense, kind of separate and probably safer than having an open fire in your bedroom. Granted, I don't know if it's much better to have it in your basement either, but, you know, it's magic. We imagine that the fire's not going anywhere, so it's fine. We're not even going to worry about it. And for the outside, I kept it fairly simple, just kind of put a fence around both of the yards. And this lot would actually work really well for the new pack if you wanted to, you know, clone the house that I built and then put it where the, you know, fake one is and rent that out. I think that would be kind of cool. I didn't really think about that before, especially since I'm sure the vampire would have, you know, plenty of money to have purchased another house to rent out. So yeah, that could be kind of a cool, you know, storytelling thing as well. But yeah, so out here, I just added in a bunch of different activities, gardening items. I added in this basketball hoop that I imagine Lucas, the werewolf, uses quite a bit. And then, you know, Ted might try to, but who knows, because he's trying to, you know, learn how to be human and all of this. So he's got a lot of different things that he's trying out and wanting to learn. And I added in some bikes at the front. I imagine they like to go for bike rides together and explore different places and all of that. So yeah, just kind of adding in some random decorations throughout. And I also kept the landscaping fairly simple. Just added in, you know, a few different trees throughout. Used a bit of debug, especially, you know, trees and stuff that matched in with the world, so it blended in nicely. Which, you know, is great if you put this in San Sequoia, but, you know, if you don't, you might have to switch out the trees if you want it to blend in. And yeah, I've got the gravestone in the back there for Talia, the ghost. I wanted to make sure that her gravestone was there, although I don't think that will actually upload to the gallery, which is a little upsetting, but she is part of the household. She's not just like a random ghost that's floating around, like she is actually part of the household. So she should at least be, you know, in the household on the gallery if you want to download it. And I did add in some plants over to the other, you know, fake house just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then, yeah, I'll pretty much just finish up by going through and doing all of the lighting. And yeah, I used just these, I think those are just base game outdoor lights. I thought those fit in fairly well. Oh wait, no, I switch it out for those other ones, and I will switch out the front ones too. But yeah, fairly simple for the outdoors. And then yeah, I think I used quite a few of those growing together. Well, really all the lamps, like the standing one and then the ceiling light. But I did have to switch those out because I think the ceilings are actually too low for those lights, so your Sims can't actually walk like around them or through them. So I did switch those out for just, actually I don't know which ones I switched those out for. Probably just the saucer ones, but something smaller so your Sims could actually walk around. So those will be different in the actual gallery version. And we are reaching the end, so I'm going to wrap things up and then I will leave you with the screenshots. Like I said, the house is available on the gallery to download along with the actual Sims if you want to play with them at all. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. There are a million things you could be doing and you chose to watch this video. So if you liked the video, please leave a like. That helps a lot. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much. Have a great day.